Purdue 80, Memphis 71 in a gross, disgusting, at sometimes concerning basketball game. That's how I would describe it at the Baha Mar Convention Center. The story of this game was largely the Baha Mar Convention Center for me. What are we doing? Wipe the floors. Somebody help us out. Interesting officiated game. I can confirm this game was officiated. That's for sure. But Memphis, I guess, give them credit for mucking this up and making things interesting. My original point guard love, Doug McDaniel, was doing very loud Doug McDaniel things. 18 points, 6 rebounds, 6 assists to 1 turnover in 30 minutes, and probably 47 different visible cramps. Like it's just the guy would get a bucket and then like stop the game and walk to the tunnel seemingly every single possession. Weird Purdue game from their stars. Kaufman-Renn teed up and fouled out in 27 minutes, but still finishes with a double-double, 12 and 11. Braden could not buy a shot, but did finish with 11 assists to 2 turnovers. Good Oscar Kluff game for sure. Fletcher Lawyer was chirping and kind of saved them by making shots in the second half. All in all, listen, weird games happen. That's the beauty of this college basketball sport that we love is you don't always play your best. And I do think it is a skill set for the best teams, the national title contending teams, to be able to win games that are weird, win games where you play poorly, that are out of character. This was 100% that for Purdue. And you can debate why, but in the end, give them credit for surviving because there were moments late in the second half where it looked like Memphis was going to win this game.
Yeah, look, it's a funky basketball setting, right? It's in a hotel, it's a convention center. Obviously, it being in the Bahamas, the weather there, it's hot in those places. The floor gets wet. That's honestly part of it. I know it sucks to say, but like they were probably doing all they could do to keep the floor as dry as they can, but it's just given the setting kind of hard to do. Which brings me back to one of my original points about college basketball. Let's just do gyms. Like we don't need to play on aircrafts. We don't need to play in convention centers. Let's just find a gym and let's make it work. Even when you play in the gym in Maui, that floor gets absolutely soaked all the time as well. So I don't know. Thankfully, everyone made it through this game healthy on both sides. Because really, that's all I asked coming into it. But especially on the Purdue side. And look, I think you had some good moments. I think that Fletch rose to the challenge of getting chirped. And I like that energy. And I like that energy from Fletch. Finally got a good CJ Cox game in this one, which was massive. Actually shot the ball and hit the shots that he took the shots of. That was a good performance from him. I thought Clough and Jacobson as a whole did well. Jacobson only played 6 minutes in this basketball game, but in the 6 minutes had 6 points, only one rebound. But Oscar Clough with 11 and 7 in his 34 minutes, you'd like to see that. And you know what? It became one of those games as you were watching it, you were like, man, just find a way to win it and find a way to just make sure everyone's good by the end of it. Because,
Mhm.
look, I'm all for getting after it. There was points of that basketball game where it was not hoop. And I'm team, look, stripes are gonna stripe. I ain't even here to get into that. But I mean, I can only hold so much weight in that, truthfully, because there was legit points of this hoop game where it was not hoop.
What do you mean by that? I think I know what you mean by that, but just can you elaborate on it was not hoop?
I just thought it was at points I felt like it was just seeing what you could get away with.
It was just
Like
like confrontational.
yeah, it was just like it was too worried about like I'm trying to start some shit on both sides,
Yeah,
by the way.
right.
And like the it lost the plot.
Yeah, so I think Fletcher called it. It was like an AAU game. I think we're going to do a separate shorts video on that. And he's right. That's a conscious thought that I had watching this game. Look, I used to coach high school ball for 6 years. I used to coach AAU for a couple years. And I mean, without getting too much into like the demographic of where I coached, um, I've seen this exact setting before. I think anyone that has been like a serious lifetime basketball person has seen this exact type thing. For me to elaborate on this a little bit, can I go down the rabbit hole of like what I think contributed to such a weird vibe in the gym?
Go down.
Cut me off if I ever like cross the line or say something weird here, but like here's my interpretation of this. 97% of that crowd was Purdue. You're playing in a random convention center in the Bahamas, right? It was basically like playing in front of no one except for the guys in the gold and black suits and friends and family of like people that cover this team. Like, and good on Purdue. They've got an amazing crowd. Like, you could play this game on the moon and Purdue would have a home court advantage. But I think, it's supposed to be like a neutral event. And all of a sudden you show up and it's a home game for Purdue. That's cool and exciting. Memphis is an interesting group. And by interesting, I mean they've got some guys with track records of being chaotic individuals. Aaron Bradshaw, like there's a history of him being a confrontational individual. There's a history of Doug McDaniel having both on and off the court. He wants the smoke vibes, right? This is, I think, a unique Memphis team, and most Penny Hardaway Memphis teams are like, they'll get in the mud with you. So I think, like, in general, Memphis approached this game kind of thinking like, let's muck this up, but really like, let's turn this into like a war. The more like clean basketball game this is, the worse chances we have to win it. The more chaotic we make it, the more chippy it gets. Like you played our game, you play the game on our terms, we have a chance to steal this. To me, that's how Memphis approached this. And I'm not saying Penny like, encourage guys to like do weird things, but like I think that's how these guys are wired. And I don't even know if it was communicated. I think a Doug McDaniel, Aaron Bradshaw team is just going to approach games against the number one team in the country where they suddenly feel like, oh, I thought we were in the Bahamas. Oh, shit, this is a road game? The whole crowd's against us? Shit. Like, let's make it have some smoke to it. So, like, and they're a physical athletic team. And this is where I'm going to go down the rabbit hole of like, I've been in this spot before. When you have like the worst team that is the physical athletic team against the better team who's full of like shooters and, just stand there, be unathletic guys, but we're going to play fundamental basketball, right? And it's in front of the fundamental basketball team's home crowd. Things can get weird. I've seen that play out before. I'm sure you've seen that play out before. It's like a not so rare AAU vibe when that team goes up against the better fundamental team. This often turns into the result sometimes. And look, to Memphis's credit, truly, to Memphis's credit, they set the tone for this game and they turned it into a game where Purdue played it on their terms. Because Braden Smith and Kaufman-Renn and even Fletcher Lawyer were out of character emotionally in this game. And that gave Memphis a chance to win, truly. Painter said as much in the post-game press conference. So, like, however we got there, I don't really know. Probably just a mix of the fact that, like, that's what this game was going to be. You're playing in front of a Purdue crowd in the Bahamas in a ballroom. Everybody's slipping. And Doug McDaniel and Aaron Bradshaw are going to like body check you while we're slipping. I do think the officials played a part in the way this game played out. I know we used to have a bit a couple of years ago. Refs were great. Stripes were great. Stripes were not great in this game. And I'm not saying they were favored to one side or the other, truly. But they let a lot go early, which set the tone for the whole vibe. And then they started trying to clean it up late and make sure we didn't have like a full-blown fist fight. It was a messy game. Aaron Bradshaw, that whole moment, I don't know if we want to get into that. Like, he flops, he gets up and looks like he's going to swing on Oscar Kluff. The announcers of this game, by the way, say credit to him for not throwing a punch after he flopped. Like, in just a weird Twilight Zone voodoo game, which is what Memphis wanted, which gave them a chance to win. And ultimately, Purdue found some poise late. But I think on a serious note, like you would like if that ever happens again, you would like them to be a little more poised. Like this was a very out of character game from the two All-Americans, I would say.
They were rattled.
Yeah.
They were rattled, and look, I credit the Memphis because part of this too is like we know we have to do what is to our advantage, and straight up, we know what they're thinking. They're looking across like Purdue soft. Like
Yeah.
that's what everybody thinks. Everyone thinks Purdue is soft, and they're going to try to punk them. And to their credit, they were winning the physicality battle in the first half on both ends. I thought that Memphis was quicker to offensive boards. I thought that Memphis was just the more physical team in general. And Purdue was looking around like, oh, they're being physical. Like, and by the time that was going on, they were losing the basketball game. So they were able to stick around like that. The one thing I'll put, like, I'm all for physical basketball play. I'm with that 100%. Aaron Bradshaw had 5 fouls in 9 minutes and fouled out.
And 0 rebounds.
Unserious fake tough guy, unserious basketball player.
Like
That's all that is. So
Bradshaw in this game was not even really playing basketball.
right. I'm like, that's just okay. You got what you wanted. You got your trip to the Bahamas. You got your 7-0 in 9 minutes. Okay. That's why Oscar Clough, when he stood up, he didn't even move an inch.
Yeah.
There was no actual action coming from that side. That was a given. But yeah, it's just, the one thing that I did not like from Purdue side, to your point, was I thought there was a little bit of like, not like crying, but it was like a lack of composure. It's just like there's not really much you can do. I'm always an advocate of like the refs are calling it the way they're calling it. You are not actually going to change it. You have to figure it out. It sucks. You got to do it. And look, they ended up doing it for what it's worth. But yeah, it was just a very, very, all it was a very physical, chaotic basketball game. And I thought the chaos got Purdue off their pivot a little bit for a good portion of this game.
It affected everybody, I thought, except for Fletcher. Honestly, I think it affected Fletcher into like getting him in mode. Like
Hmm.
I think that little moment at the free throw line where I forget who was at the line for Memphis, but they were visibly yapping at each other. Jay Hart in our Discord, I didn't see this, but Jay Hart said Fletcher was like they were verbally, going back and forth, and Fletch looked at the guy's back jersey, like walked around him to look at his name, basically was like, "Who are you?" I don't know if that's real or not, but if it is, I love it.
Are we allowing Flesh to pull that move?
Listen, I'm allowing anything from Fletch if he wants to yap and then respond the way he did. Because
Mm.
Fletch is the reason I thought late they created separation. And CJ Cox was amazing. We're going to give CJ a whole segment of this discussion too. We haven't even mentioned his name yet. But yeah, from my perspective, it was funny because like again, as a guy who anytime I've played basketball, I just catch and shoot. That's it. I don't guard, I don't rebound, I don't dribble, I don't do anything. I catch and shoot. And I've been in spots before where I'm just like not that involved, like, yeah, whatever, not my game. And then somebody says something to me,
Hmm.
and then I'm like, bitch, watch this. I'm gonna make 6 threes. And like that to me, that was Fletcher in this game. It was funny to see him respond that way. But you're like going through the mainstays on this team. I thought Braden was impacted by their physicality. He finished 2 for 14. He missed both free throws. I mean, that's just obviously a terrible shooting night from him. But they were guarding him with a 6'7", 205-pound guard.
Yeah, that was actually an interesting move and one that I thought worked out for Penny because then they put Zach Davis on him. Is that who it was?
Yeah, they put Zach Davis on him, and then
Yeah.
they went 7-1, 7-1, 6-8 behind him. Like
Mm.
it was not what Purdue expected, and I do think it was a good tactical move. That's probably the biggest guy that will guard Braden Smith this year, and I thought he did a really good job. Um, we can talk more on Braden's performance, but like you're right, at a certain point, it turned from just I don't know, like I'm missing my shots to like I'm really playing for calls. And I will say this. The biggest criticism I have of the officials is they are not officiating Braden Smith like he's Braden Smith. I know you've heard me say this before. I think stars should get star calls. Like I have no issue with stars getting star calls.
I got an issue with stars getting star calls.
That's fine. In this game, he didn't get regular player calls. Like he was getting, I thought, destroyed on drives and like would just throw the ball up as if it's like, okay, a whistle's coming, and no
Mm.
whistle would come. But like if he didn't throw the ball up, he would travel because he literally got hit. And I'm just not, that happened like 3 or 4 times in this game to me. And then it felt like he was getting whistled for some touch calls. So I don't know. I'm going to war for my guy here. I think you could probably go to war for more guys on Purdue. But
I respect it. I can't start Stripes talk this early. I can't
okay.
do it. I can't do it. I refuse. I stayed packed with it last year. Stri College referees suck. All referees suck. I hate referees.
Yeah.
I'm the biggest referee hater in all of mankind. I just can't. I can't do it. I'm more just like figure it out, find a way. Because otherwise, we legit would do it on every single game we do. Because college referees are terrible.
Well, and
Every
I do think it's a fair criticism of Braden that he often plays a game that is very demanding of officials. Like even
right.
you think about the way he closed the Alabama game, it was about getting to the free throw line. We talked about that on the pod, right?
Yeah.
So
And getting to the
he's
free throw line is a skill.
and he's so good that like when a game is like this, we're like, shit, these refs suck. He's got to just go and assume he's not getting calls. And I don't even really think late in this game that ever flipped. Like he just continued playing the game, like trying to get the calls he deserves. And I think that flustered him very clearly. Then on the flip side, TKR, I don't know that we've ever seen TKR struggle in the way he struggled in this game, right? Like he was sort of mentally, emotionally contributing in a bad way here. I've never noticed that. I've never seen TKR feel like he had lost composure. I don't want to say he lost composure in this game, but just totally out of character for TKR to get attacked. And then it ultimately just led to way less TKR than they wanted. That hurt the team for sure.
Yeah, unfortunately, I love it.
You do.
Yeah, because look, I love like, you know, draw a constellation from memory TKR. I also love like mix it up, get active TKR.
I mean, this was like more of an edge than we've
Because
seen.
for me, I do like to the point, and it's not even fair, but I feel like people look at Purdue as a team and they think they're soft, and that includes TKR. So like I'm kind of fine with him mixing it up a little bit and not, you know what I'm saying, not taking shit basically, to be honest with you. And look, obviously you don't want it to hurt the team, and I think it kind of to an extent did. Like TKR playing 27 minutes hurt this basketball team. But at the same time, I like my guy kind of just standing up for him. You know what I'm saying? Like not letting people just move any which way they want to because they think they can.
Yeah, I hear it. I hear
But
it.
to your point, once it hurts the team, it leads to the team losing the composure portion that we talked about.
Well, it just led to less TKR. Like we ended up with a lot of Jack Benter in key moments in this game, and I mean Jack had the dunk, but I don't think it should be pretty obvious to everyone if there's less TKR, that's a worse version of Purdue.
Right.
So look, in the end, they win the game. I think they sustained, they overcame all these emotional challenges we're talking about. But I guess it looking back, it's just very rare that we look at this group of Purdue players and talk about emotions. And the story of this game was definitely emotions. And again, I kind of think you've got to give credit to Memphis for turning it into that because if it was just about basketball, Memphis was not going to win this game. They made it emotions. They made that the story of the game. And you can say you don't respect that, but they were physically up for the challenge and they forced Purdue's hand into how are you going to respond to this? And they forced the officials' hands too. So is what it is. Okay, let's try to start to get to some basketball related things here. I mean, CJ Cox got the Ken Pom MVP in this game. What'd you think of his performance?
He shot the ball. Like legit, like he's been getting up like 2 shots a game. Like, didn't he have some games with zero?
Yeah, I'll pull up the game logs.
Yeah, he also and like it was and a lot of it was like CJ when he caught it, it was going up. Like Braden was working through like the double. He got down, and the one thing Memphis was doing, they were committing like three guys down there.
Hmm.
Legit, a lot of times they're committing three guys down there. And Braden was making the right pass on the kick out, and it was to Fletch, and it was to CJ Cox, and I thought that played a big part in Braden getting 11 assists in this basketball game. He was finding those guys once he got to the lane.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, CJ, it looked like CJ got going with just a couple like corner wide open catch and shoots, which, I mean, give him credit, he made them. I also think like something I'm starting to realize about the Purdue role player discussion every game is like most of these guys are just going to be asked to make wide open shots. And so, like, when CJ makes two threes, I do feel like it kind of turns into like, wow, CJ, that's the CJ we always need. And like he did some other good things in this game too. Don't get me wrong. He had 4 rebounds. I thought he had the really timely offensive rebound put back. He's a good defender. Like he can get in the mix defensively. He was not spooked by the physicality of this game. I feel like he was probably the only Purdue player on the court. Other honestly, give Kluff credit for this too. Cox and Kluff were the two least bothered Purdue players in this game
You
by
think you think
every.
Lawyer gets in that mold that fold too or no?
See, I think Lawyer was bothered and then responded, and
Right.
give him credit to responding. But like Cox and Clough were just like head down. That shit don't even bother me.
Hmm.
And I honestly, that's a huge testament to Clough and why they brought Clough here. And I think you should probably praise CJ in the same way. Like he's a trustworthy, stable, physical athlete, like not afraid of the smoke and not going to get sped up when that happens. So I was really impressed with him. At the same time, he finishes with 18 points. He hits 4 threes. I thought he attempted 7. They were pretty much all wide open. That's great. I do have a hard time like with it because I just look at the guys he's competing with, and I think Jakari and Omer probably could have had the same performance.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things we should give him credit, but I do feel like I heard a couple takeaways from this kind of being like, well, that's why, CJ's emerging. That's why CJ's going to start for this team. And it's kind of like he made the shots today. He's got the first shot at it. He's also had what, 4 games before this where he hasn't really delivered on pretty much same shots. So,
Right. It comes down to making shots. It does. And here's the thing. For me, it was CJ taking them in this game.
yeah.
If you're not going to take them, then like legit, and I would bet good money that this staff was in there like, dog, CJ, I get it. You're good at like you can defend. I get that. When you catch the ball, you need to be a threat to shoot the ball.
Yeah.
You should not start on Purdue and end the game with 0 shots. I don't care if TKR is with you, Braden. Like I not ending the game with 0 shots is unacceptable.
Yeah. First Ken Palm MVP, no, second Ken Palm MVP of CJ's career. He had a big game against Nebraska last year. So definitely signs in the right direction. I like if this is gonna happen frequently, it 100% makes sense that he is atop the shooting guard depth chart. I think he's still, to me, to my eye, he's the best defender of that group. And if he can kind of emerge as this very trustworthy 3-and-D athlete type at the two, Purdue's got something on their hands for sure. So good to see him emerge in that way. I do want to talk about Clough. Clough played 34 minutes in this game. 11 points, 7 rebounds, 3 blocks from Oscar Clough. All 3 of Purdue's blocks in this game came from him. Even chipped in 2 assists to 1 turnover, made 5 free throws. Was 5 for 5 from the line. Thought this was an amazing Clough game. And it's not like, the biggest box score ever. He's going to have bigger rebounding games than this. He's going to have bigger scoring games than this. But I thought he played 34 minutes where he really didn't make a mistake. I thought you want to think about the types of games where you really feel the upgrade at the center spot. Can you imagine what last year's front court would have done in this game?
Oh, they would have been completely out of they probably would have lost.
Like TKR gets attacked, fouls out, and we're looking at Caleb First and Wilberg and Cam Heide. to go deal with all the nonsense that Memphis brought. Like it just they wouldn't have been up for the task on the court or in between the ears. And I think Kluff deserves as much credit for what he was in here as he was on the court in this game. He's massive, he's tough. He just was not bothered by this shit. And there's no better moment to like kind of signal that than what happened with Bradshaw. Um, I think at this point, you'd gotten to this point in the game. It's back and forth. I think it was like a tie game at this point or something like that. And I think Doug and Bradshaw and multiple other Memphis guys had been running around kind of like elbowing and shouldering all game. And Kluff finally just kind of gave you one back. And what Painter said after the game was, well, what I was told from the refs when they reviewed it was we missed one on Kluff. It should have been a regular foul. We missed it. But yeah, it ended up being a flagrant. His fifth, Bradshaw's out of the game in his response. I don't even know, based on how the rest of the game was called, that Kluff deserved a foul for that. But he did just like, I'm going to bump you. I'm going to bump you. I'm sick of your shit and I'm going to bump you. And Bradshaw takes that bump, takes a dive, steps up, and I thought Bradshaw was going to hit him. I mean, you go here with two fingers in the eyes. Like, I thought Bradshaw was going to hit him. And
Bradshaw's not going to hit it. He wasn't going to hit anybody.
Because you don't think Bradshaw's actually wired like that.
No, not at all. He's built like a wire, but he's not wired like that.
I mean, Bradshaw has a history of confrontation. Is that fair to say?
Not like serious conference. It's no. He's fake tough guy.
I mean, I don't even know if we should be doing this on a video, but like the reason he wasn't with Ohio State last year,
Was that
like
because of confrontation?
he was charged with domestic incident.
Oh,
or
I didn't know that.
so he actually was not charged, excuse me. He was not with Ohio State at the beginning of last season because he was accused of a domestic violence incident.
Oh, so he's for
And
sure a
then,
fake tough guy then.
right. But
That's the ultimate fake tough guy thing.
charges were dropped and he rejoined the team. But like the point is here to scout on Aaron Bradshaw from his original season at Kentucky, where he was like, everyone was like, oh yeah, he's a terrible locker room guy, to Ohio State, where he's not with the team because of a domestic incident, to he rejoins the team and like, again, bad locker room guy, to now he's at Memphis. Like the scout on him is he's a little bit of a wild card, I would say. And at minimum, like you could expect some confrontation from him. So I don't know. We're getting into an interesting spot with this, but like, yes, when he jumped up and was overreacting to that and put his arms in Cluff's face, I thought for sure we might have something.
Aaron Bradshaw's not I get what you're saying, but it's the reaction of I'm on my back, I'm flopping, ow, to I get up and I'm always of the belief that if you are going to swing, you swing immediately.
Sure.
So this right here is I'm not gonna swing, but look at me. That's I just flopped on the ground.
How about this? When he went for this, I thought that was a swing. When I saw the arm going toward Cluff at all, I thought it was a swing. And then it wasn't.
I could see that being how Aaron Bradshaw throws a punch.
Okay. Regardless, thought Cluff handled him masterfully in that entire moment. Like basically just like,
What gives, mate?
yeah, like what are we doing?
What's the
Right.
issue here, mate?
But also like puffing his chest out a little bit, you know?
I don't think Clough could not puff his. He's so wide.
He's a big man.
He's a big fella.
Like on the list of players in college basketball that I would least want to flop, stand up, and get in the face of, Clough would be like top 3 for me, I think.
I'll come up with my rankings later at a later date.
I don't think anything good's gonna come from like getting in Oscar Clough's face physically for anyone this year.
Yeah, unless you're on Oakland.
I also think Oscar Clough could take a punch.
How many punches do you think it would take Oscar Clough?
Like it's genuinely, if Bradshaw had swung on him and hit him in the jaw, I think Clough just eats it and stands right there, like
I can see it.
totally unfazed. But you get my point. Like I this is one of the first early moments in the season where I genuinely felt the value of Oscar Clough being added to this team, because while you look around and Braden's head is spinning and TKR's not even on the court and Fletcher's been yapping at a role player for 20 minutes.
Mhm.
Kluff was kind of just this emotional stabilizer of like, they want to be tough. All right, I'm here.
Yeah.
You know?
And they needed that too because to your point, there was a lot of everybody in there like not in their normal state of mind because of how the game was going. And coaches can only tell you so much about that. Like I feel like a player on the court has to actually show a level of like locking in a little bit. We know what they're trying to do, which why honestly my cart palm MVP in this game is Fletch because his little bit of psychoness in this game works out. Like they're chirping at him and he's just like hitting the smile. He's hitting the lawyer smile, which I know was eating Memphis up inside. Because if there's one thing that they didn't want, it was Fletch chirping and disrespecting them and laughing at them, and that's really what he did.
And then winning after he
And
has
then
20.
winning.
After he has 20.
Right. Like that's lawyer though. That's what he does.
Yep, it is. Yeah, it was a great Fletch game, and they needed it. Like again, if Braden wasn't able to score in this game, they needed it from Fletch, and he stepped up big time. So give them credit for it. At the same time, Fletch got to make the outlet dog. Zero assists to four turnovers, and I thought at least two of the turnovers were just like Fletch deciding to dribble up court.
Doing the wrong thing, Greg.
What do you mean?
So you know how like do you usually look at ESPN or stats broadcast when you look at stats?
I don't look at either.
You don't you like right? How do you like
I
reference the stats?
raw dog it.
You raw dog? Okay, well, what I like to do with Fletch, I use stats broadcast, and I stop reading after free throw with Fletch.
Oh, okay. Nothing else
I don't
matters.
know why you're so. I'm not worried about. I'm not even worried about the minutes. I'm worried about everything that's on the left side.
Got it. Okay. Um, we can get into some bench stuff for Purdue. Before we do, let's talk our guy, PG1. 2 for 14 from the floor, 0 for 2 from free throw, 11 assists to two turnovers. Didn't he have one assist at half?
Oh, maybe, but I'm not. Hold on a second. I could actually
I
check
think he
that.
had one or two assists at halftime and came
He
back
had,
9 or 10.
yeah, he had one assist at half and one rebound.
Crazy. Now, this was very clearly not a good Braden Smith game. I think it's totally fine to just be like, that was a really bad Braden Smith game. Um, I also think like in the live discussion, like Omer was playing well, and there were some Purdue Discord live discussion members that I was in the mix with that were kind of just like, let's give Braden a breather. I do got to say this, and maybe it's me being selfish. There's not 1 second in this game that I wanted Braden to get a breather.
Who would they want to give him a breather for?
I think it was like, let's let Omer have a shot. Like Braden's wound up. He needs to just compose himself a little. Um,
Listen, I love my guy Omer. Omer in the second half in 3 minutes was 0 for 4, 0 for 3, no rebounds, no assists.
yeah, I think, and people I think were annoyed with Braden, like, kind of looking to the officials, which is a fair concern. Because I do think he set the tone for all of Purdue, kind of like, why aren't we getting our calls in this game? He's got to be better with that. But he had 10 assists in the second half, Cart. Like, as this game got on the ropes and was super chippy, he had 10 assists and a half.
Mhm.
Like, on a night he couldn't hit a shot. That's like, we're talking about CJ was the KenPom MVP. CJ was great. He made shots. How did he get those shots?
Mhm.
Like, how did Fletch get 20? Like, he's still, Braden is creating everything for this team. Everything for this team. So, and I think we kind of discussed this in a different spot. I don't even want to like have this conversation because it doesn't matter. Braden has said as much, it doesn't matter. He's not really in line for like a national player of the year right now. Until the scoring gets figured out,
Mhm.
that's not even really a convo. But regardless of whatever like that expectation is, he's still unbelievable. Like the shots that he was able to create with a 6'7" athlete in his chest the whole game on a night where he clearly was going through it and didn't have it. Like if this was like a lack of composure Braden Smith game and he still gave you 11 assists to 2 turnovers, that's supposed to be the lack of composure Braden game? Like,
Yeah, you know what? I appreciate you going nuance into that, and I think that's you laid it out, everything out there is the way it should be. If you want your point guard winner, Cousy Award winner, do everything, best point guard in Purdue history, preseason National Player of the Year to sit, I think you have personal issues you need to work out outside of yourself.
yeah.
I don't care. And to be honest with you, I don't really care how bad I'm looking back to, you know, the times when there was times when like Zell was having a bad game or Cassius was looking like a liability on both ends. Never in my wildest dreams was I was like, oh, please sit him for Tum Tum.
Yeah.
Like it's no.
And that it wasn't a super serious thing either. I'm not trying to like paint Purdue fans as wanting less Braden Smith, but it was
Okay,
just like he could use a
I'll delete the message I just sent in there.
minute. Just saying.
But I use some bad language too.
At the same time, let's just go down the path and maybe we'll see what happens. He might bounce back against Texas Tech. I predicted that this tournament would be Braden finds his jumper and is amazing. That was clearly wrong. Maybe I cursed him. Um, his offense is bad right now. Like his own scoring offense is bad right now. What needs to change? What are you seeing from that? Why is he struggling so much?
You talking about Braden hitting shots?
Yeah, 2 for 14 in this game. I think that's the most shots he's missed in a game, I think, in his career.
Man, honestly I'm looking to you for a little bit more on it because to me, I have no problem with the shots. I just think it's a bad stretch right now.
I mean, we're 2 games removed from him going 5 for 10 from three against Alabama for 29 points. Like we're 3 games removed from him going 8 for 15 for 20. Like I don't even want to call it a bad stretch. He's had 2 really good scoring games. He's had 3 not so great ones. This one was not just not so great. This one was outright bad.
Right. This one was just because it was like, yeah, he's had not good scoring games. This one was he was getting shots up. He didn't hit them.
This one was outright bad. What I would say is you give Memphis credit. They put a 6'7" dude on him that picked him up full court, and I thought really got to him. And
Hmm.
that's not great that they really got to him. But they got to him. Now, I will say this, and this is my Braden conspiracy theory. I might have to keep pressing on him when we get on a running point on this. I do think there are moments in each game, and definitely in this game, where he is overpassing. And I get that might sound dumb on a night where he was 2 for 14 and couldn't buy a shot. Card, I thought he had a couple like layup opportunities. I thought there were maybe 2 or 3 plays where most definitely the correct read was for Braden to take a jump shot that was wide open.
Hmm.
And instead, he was often kicking for like Fletcher Lawyer contested catch and shoots. Now Fletch was on fire. So maybe it's as simple as like Braden didn't have a hot hand and Fletcher did. But I think I noticed this in past games. He's not taking his midi as much as he used to. Ant tweeted about that last night. Like, why isn't Braden taking the midi? Can I give you my conspiracy theory?
Yeah.
He'll never admit it, but I think he's gunning for the assist record.
See, I saw it as like he's being maybe asked to not take middies.
Could be that too. And that he kind of answered that way. He was like, Paint wants more threes from me.
Yeah, like that's he said that was a what he say? The only two things he said he came in the office is yeah, you're doing everything great, more threes. See ya.
Yeah. I want to be clear though. He should be gunning for the assist record. Like if that is what is happening, I endorse it. But I will say just visibly to me through 5 games, he's less willing to score on his own than he was last year. And look, on this night, he just missed 12 shots. It's not like lack of aggression was a huge issue. But honestly, I thought some of the shots he took in this game were tougher than ones he should have taken that he passed up. So we'll see. Maybe it was just Memphis getting to him, but I mean, bottom line is this: you and I both expect the scoring to get back on track, and more importantly, um, it has to, right? Like, in order for Purdue to get where they want to go, they definitely need Braden scoring to be a bigger part of this team than it's been.
Yeah. Yeah, they do. And it I think, you know, the thing is about it is when it is time, I think he'll do it. You know what I'm saying? Like in the Alabama game, when it came down to it, everything going on, TKR having a great game, it also came down to the baddest point guard in the sport having 29.
Yeah. Yep.
And
It's
can
gonna
I
be
disrespect Memphis real quick?
please.
Not a serious basketball team or game.
Why?
Has nothing to do with the refs. It's just like that's just not a serious basketball program. I'm sorry, respect to like what they've done, but like whatever, that's whatever that is.
You mean to tell me that Doug McDaniel as the star is not leading to a serious basketball product, Cart? Really?
Like, dog, I was talking to John about this last night, like just on the side, and not even like throw stuff out there. He was just like, this isn't like I'm not enjoying this.
Ooh, I got to talk to John then because I enjoyed every second of Doug McDaniel.
Well, you have experience.
I might be the only person who actually genuinely loves Doug McDaniel still. I don't know. I do. And I know Purdue fans are going to be like, come on, that's ridiculous. Cart, I got to say this. This is probably the last Doug McDaniel game I'm going to cover this year. I don't plan on watching Memphis in the American at all. Doug McDaniel just wrapped up his career. He played Braden Smith twice. He had a better performance than Braden in both games.
Damn
It's
it.
in single digit losses.
Damn it.
It's the same thing that happened in the Michigan lost by 8 and Doug outplayed Braden 2 years ago. They lose
Oh,
by 9 in this game and Doug outplayed Braden.
Chuck McDaniel?
I'll chug a coffee to Doug
Uh,
McDaniel. We've all see Doug. This is a sign. We've all grown up a lot in the last 2 years, haven't we? We really have. What'd you make of Doug's constant cramping? Was that real? Was he doing theatrics? What was going on?
it was real.
Dehydrated?
Yeah, he was dehydrated. I've been listen, there's many of Roper high school old man runs on Saturday morning where I cramped the exact same way.
Listen, I agree. I think it was real. He was like screaming in agonizing pain, and they zoomed in. I think you could see his like hamstring shaking at one point. I gotta say, if the cramps were real, this was a genuinely really impressive performance.
Oh, no, the streets will know about Baha Mar Doug.
Dude, he had 18 on 15 shots. He had like 6 for 11 at the rim with 6 rebounds and 6 assists to one turnover.
He was in some tough shots around the rim too.
He was genuinely great.
Yeah.
It was the only part of Memphis's game to me that was like real basketball, was like Doug being an offensive engine. And I can't believe I was watching a Doug McDaniel offensive engine like almost beat Purdue. But it it did. And for 1 second, like it took me back to the heartstrings. I used to love watching Doug McDaniel. And it's the most toxic part of my basketball self, I think.
I mean, look, I'm glad you got to witness that.
It's good for my heart. At the same time, I'm really glad that we have the Running Point podcast with Braden Smith and not the Hamstring Cramps podcast with Doug McDaniel, as Memphis goes 8-24 this year.
Yeah. Honestly, I would still do it if Doug is available.
That's pretty true. Quickly, quick hitters, Purdue bench. Jack Benter with a highlight dunk in this game. He got 13 minutes with Trey Kaufman-Renn in foul trouble. What did you make of his performance?
Um, I think for me, he was able to maintain his rebounding and his minutes, which is fine. He had the highlight dunk, which is also good as well. I look at Jack Benter through this lens. I just don't want things to fall off the planet when he's on the floor. Didn't do that. Two thumbs up for Jack Benter.
He missed another three. The dunk was special. Wow moment. I feel like there's a lot of hype just around like, wow, that was exciting. Cool. Highlights, great. He's got to make shots. He missed another wide open three in this game. I get annoyed every time he misses a three because Liam Murphy is not going to get a chance at, at those minutes. Like that's just what it is.
Murphy's out right now, though, right? Yeah.
He is, but at the update from yesterday, we talked through it. It was
Oh
like
yeah.
basically, like yeah, he's healthy. He's just not in our rotation.
Hmm.
So I want to see made shots from the backup fours, and Benter's not making them. He was only 0 for 1 in this game, but like didn't love that. Omer 2 for 9. There was a stretch in the first half. I thought Omer was like spectacular. He looked more comfortable.
That one Braden Smith assist was like a cross court to Omer, which, by the way, Omer, does he have like some J.R. Smith in him?
He's got some shit to him.
But I think he wants a hand in his face.
Yeah, he kind
And
of he hesitated.
he did. He hesitated, jabbed. Was like, oh, well, I guess why not? Handsome. Like, but he could have just shot it right off the catch.
Handsome.
Handsome. Like, does he want a hand in front of his face?
Well, I mean, in his defense, I think his entire career with Team Israel, he's been taking hand in the face shots. So maybe he's just more comfortable with that.
That's true. I like his aggressiveness in this basketball game. I do think that he, like, just like everybody else, I thought the athleticism and the size of Memphis did rattle him a little bit. Like he didn't necessarily get by guys
Yeah.
like he typically has.
Braden and Omer have like a personal chemistry though that's pretty cool. Whenever Omer does anything good, those two like we see a more animated version of Braden celebrating Omer good moments than I feel like other things we've ever seen. So
Yeah.
I'm kind of keeping an eye on that because I love when Omer plays well. He was great in the first half. He was not worthy of being on the court in the second half for sure. Carter, it's been a while since we've been tagged in tweets about Jakari Harris. What's going on there?
Look, I think that you look at it as a tandem. CJ Cox is playing well. That really kind of makes Jakari somewhat expendable in a game like this.
I mean, he missed another layup. I think we're at the point, like, I'm going to be harsh with this, but just seriously, this is a team with championship aspirations, and he's consistently missing layups. I don't know if it's yippy. I don't know what it is. Jakari is clearly capable of really good performances. At some point, we're going to get a good one. But point blank, he's third in a group of three guys battling for 40 minutes right now, and he keeps missing layups. Like, let's put our big boy pants on here. He's going to fall completely out of the rotation if he doesn't get it together. And in
Yeah.
this game, he played single digit minutes for the first time this year. All he did was miss a layup in 9 minutes. It's not good enough. It is point blank not good enough. So we'll see if it changes. But like if this doesn't change, I would not be surprised if it turns into a 25-15 minute split between Cox and Meyer. Like truly, you're not getting anything from Jakari right now, and that needs to change. Lastly, Daniel Jacobson, only 6 minutes. He had the sequence where he caught like 3 straight alley-oops.
Mhm.
Outside of that sequence, he did not do anything. He had 4 fouls and 1 rebound in
That's
6 minutes.
good. That's Paint being great.
Is it?
Yeah. It's
Like
Paint
just
being.
reading the room, protecting DJ?
Daniel Jacobson would have left this game on a stretcher if he played the whole game.
That's probably true.
Yeah.
I think it's good to see that you can get 34 good minutes from Kluff when needed. Do you think like what's the likelihood this changes? Like his next game, Daniel Jacobson gives you 34 and Kluff gives you less, or
Looking at what the other front court has, no.
okay. All right. We'll get to a prediction there. Any final thoughts on Purdue's 9-point win over a stinky confrontational Memphis team in a ballroom?
Win the game, get it done, get what I want, which is I'm spending my Friday evening probably a couple cocktails deep if everything goes according to plan, watching Christian Anderson versus Braden Smith and JT Toppin versus Trey Kaufman-Renn.
I'd like to close with this. I'm talking directly to the esteemed prime minister here. Get your shit together, dog. Like,
The Prime Minister of what, the Bahamas?
yeah, he would. You,
No.
you didn't see that interview mid game?
No.
There's an esteemed prime minister of the Bahamas who
Why you
was.
keep saying esteemed?
It's not the word. There's a third word before prime minister that I'm forgetting. I'm just gonna say it's esteemed. Esteemed prime minister, sweep the floors, man. Sweep the floors. I got boots on the ground. People sources telling me that in timeouts there were like interns, there were grad assistants from both teams wiping the floors with towels. We got futures on the line here, and I don't mean betting tickets. I mean like NBA futures are on the line at this event. We're playing in some godforsaken ballroom. Get it together. Like, this was dangerous, and the next game was dangerous. And if God forbid anybody on this team gets hurt, I'm gonna lose my mind. Get it together, Prime Minister. Good win, Purdue. Go Boiler Ball. We got more for you today.